Welcome to Focus on Design, a monthly feature in Flowers and Magazine. I'm Rich Salvaggio, AIFD, and today I'm very excited to share some great ideas with you. During this video, we'll share tips and tricks to help you create this beautiful floral chandelier with perfectly gorgeous permanent product from Pioneer Wholesale. Before we begin our how-to project, I'd like to show you some of the beautiful permanent materials, both flowers and foliage, that Pioneer Imports and Wholesale have that are just so absolutely beautiful. This is a peony bush, and the peonies just look like they're ready they're so open, they're ready to blossom right off the stem. They're absolutely beautiful and extremely realistic. You almost expect you'll see ants on them, but you don't. And then another thing they have that are absolutely wonderful, they have the most gorgeous ranunculus. I'm going to tilt that toward you a little bit. And the colors on them are unbelievable. They're so full, they're so big, they're so lush. And what I did was I planted them in a wooden box with some of their succulents and echeverias. So they just have some things that are so realistic. On this particular one, English roses, it's a bush, and then what I did, I just spread the bush out so that it would look more realistic, and then I added some boxwood and again a whole bunch of echeverias in the back. So those are beautiful, and they come in I think 30 or 40 different colors. And the last thing I want to show you today is something that's very, very trendy. It's a new product for Pioneer, and it's a beautiful wreath. It's a lemon leaf wreath, and it has hydrangea on it, and also it has some butcher's broom. This greenery, this thinner little wispy greenery, is called butcher's broom, and it's so very realistic. And I just placed it in a wreath. The wreath form comes just leaves. And then I added the hydrangea, just the little touches that make it something that's more than just what you can find anywhere. It's absolutely beautiful. This video is being brought to you by Pioneer Imports and Wholesale. Pioneer has been a wholesale supplier of permanent botanicals for 40 years. For the past 8 years, Pioneer has been designing and importing their exclusive line of permanent florals and greenery. Pioneer's mission is to provide permanence to complement the latest trends in wedding and decor. As we create a floral chandelier today, we'll be working on this fabulous wired wreath, and I have a picture of it so you can see very clearly it's just composed of very thin metal. First thing we have to do is create something to hang it with. So these are beads and ribbon. These 4 pieces that come down, and they're just tied onto the wreath, and they will hold it, and it's very, very lightweight. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start covering all the way around with permanent eucalyptus. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to take cable ties that are white, and we're going to come around the wreath, push the cable into the tie part. As it goes through, it'll get nice and tight. Now that we're done all the eucalyptus and we've created a wonderful framework to build on, we're going to start adding the cherry blossoms. Permanent flowers are packed for shipment to be delivered. They're really squeezed together. So what's very, very important, when you take a stem like of this beautiful, beautiful cherry blossom, it's important to do some manipulative work to get all of the branches separated and not be flat. When it's very, very flat, it's not pretty looking. So we're going to start putting on the next layer onto the wreath. And again, it's going to be cable tied. And this time I went for a little slightly larger cable because this is a little bit heavier. I'm going to go, always making sure you're going around one of the gold bar pieces of the wreath. And because the cable ties are white, you really don't notice them. I will cut them off as we go along. Our next step is going to be to attach these beautiful lilac wisteria bushes to the wreath. And what you'll see that I've done is I cut the stem off. It had a pretty big stem, so I cut the stem off so doesn't become visible. And then I've taken each individual stem and bend it so that I can take the whole bunch and insert it right into the wreath at once. And I'm going to do that with 3 bushes. Now I'm going to add in just individual stems. Just give them a nice soft bend, and they're just going to get wedged in with all the other stems that are cable tied in there. Now the last step in creating the chandelier will be to attach this beautiful wisteria. It's so long, it's so rich looking. And what we're going to do, it comes on a very long stem, so I cut the stems off and I'm going to lay the stems in the wreath in a crisscross fashion. Every chandelier that you see in the store, it has cascading and it comes longest in the middle. And since I have nothing firm in the middle to attach to, I'm going to take those stems and I've laid them across, and now I'm going to feed in the long piece, and then I'm going to attach a second one, and I'll just do the last 2 and we'll be done. Thanks for joining us. You can find more free step-by-step videos on our website. Just go to Flowers and, that's Flowers, A-N-D, magazine.com, and click on the digital library link at the top of the page. We look forward to having you visit.